The approach I'm using is that we'll build project. While we build a project, I'll explain every element that we use in building the project. So this is our project. It's to-do list application. I called it to trick. It's made up of lists of tasks you want to perform. So this is the list. And then when you click on one item, it takes you to the detail screen. So I'm still working on the detail screen. I'm not done. So from here, you'll be taken here. And from here, you have a button at the top that allows you to either edit or delete the item. Okay, so this is when you are editing. Either you are editing or you are adding. Both of them look the same. So we are having three main screen for now. The first one is the lists of tasks, and then you click on a button to open this one for you to add a task. And when you click on an individual task, you'll be taken to the detail screen. This is Android Studio. When you install the Android Studio for the first time, you know how you have empty lists here, but because I've been using it, I have projects that I created recently listed over here. So this will be your screen when you first open it, and then you have the option here to create a new project or open an existing project. This is for Flutter, but we are not dealing with Flutter. So you click on here to create a new project, and when you open that option, we have a lot of starter templates that you can begin with. This is completely zero, like there's nothing. You have to build everything from scratch, and these are the options. This one is for compose. This is for the view, that's XML, and then you can also use C++ to create it, but today we are focusing on the XML. So I'll select the XML. So if you are also following, you select the XML one. So let's select this empty views activity. So select empty views activity. So you double click on it, then you'll be taken to a new window. Here you specify the name of the application. So I'm calling it to trick. And then here you specify the package name. So package name can be is actually the application identifier. Is an ID for the application when you submit it for Play Store. Usually by convention it starts by like your name, either your name or your company name. That's like the website in reverse order. So it's like if your company is fenso.com, it will be com.fenso and then dot the application name. So this one is to trick. So this is just the location where you are saving the application, and then you select the programming language you use. We have Java and then Kotlin, so we are sticking with Kotlin. And then here you pick the API. So you pick the API. I think I talked about this the last time, so I won't go much here, but this is the phones you want your application to support, because we have different versions of phones. So the number you pick here, the higher the number, the lesser phones it will support. The higher the number here, the less phone it will support. And then this is for our dependency management. So that one too will enter into it too. So the most important thing you have to choose here is your application name, package name, your company name in reverse order. If you don't have a company, you use your own name. For here I'm using fenso.com.fenso. The application name. And then this is the location where you are saving the project. I think I'll save it on my desktop. And then the language, so you can change the location, and then you choose the phones you want to support. So this, when any level of the phone you choose, there's a little bit of information here telling you the number of devices around the world that your application can run on, telling you the number of devices around the world that your application can run on. So let's go to the next screen. So you hit on finish, create to start creating the application. So it will build and then generate all the necessary tools, dependencies, anything that you need to get your application started. When you create it for the first time, this is what will happen. So there's something called Gradle. It's our build system. When it comes to Android, this is our build and then package management system. It's like the way it is in JavaScript. NPM or dependency management is the same here. Okay, so it's still building. So whilst it builds, let me try to explain to you. So this is your project structure. So this is the way Android application is structured. It comes with some already made files and all those things for you. Most of them visible here are configuration, but the main place we'll be working is this app. It will load very. It's done building. So if you look at the bottom here, it's done build. So this is the interface. So you have your project structure here. Anytime you want your project file, look at the folder icon here. So you click on that one to see your project files. So we have three main things here, folders. The first one is manifest. This is where you specify some configurations for your configurations, like permissions and all those stuff for the application in this folder. It's called manifest. When we touch it, I'll talk about it. I'll not bombard you with too much theory. We'll dive into it. Anything I touch, then I'll tell you this is this, instead of telling you all at once. And the second folder is called Kotlin Java. It was named that way because of Java and then Kotlin for creating Android application. That's why it's been named like that. It's convention. You don't have to worry about it. So inside this Kotlin Java, we have three other folders. The first one, this is where your application files will be. The Kotlin files that you create for your application. This is where they will be inside Java, Kotlin Java. Under that, you see your package name. The first one, that's where your application files will be. The other two are meant for testing. So the first one for UI testing, and then the second one for unit testing. So the two is meant for test, but this first one, this is where your project files will be.
I put a new project on my Android on my laptop.
Okay.
And I have clicked on phone and tablet. What should I click on? I see empty activity, button navigation view.
Yeah, select
empty view activity. Which one should I click on?
Empty view activity. Empty view.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I click next, right?
Yeah. So empty view activity, you select next.
I've done that.
This part, this is where your Kotlin files will be. The other two are meant for testing. And please mute yourself. Your keyboard is making sound. This is the other folder. So this folder is called REST. This REST, the full meaning is resources. So it holds your images. So all images that you use inside of your application will be placed in this drawable folder. And then the layout, which is this one, the UI that your user will see and click on, interact with. We design them inside the layout file. And then here, this is the application icon. You see when you pick your phone, the icons on the phone that you see to know that, oh, this is EcoBank application. Those icons is they live in this folder. It's called map. And then values, so values like colors, strings, and then we have theme inside that one too, and then we have other ones, but for now focus on the layout, the value, and then the drawable, layout, and then the value. Focus on these folders. And then we have the last one. This is where your configurations will be. So we will touch them when needed. So right now, focus on two main things. First, the Kotlin Java. Inside this one, focus on this folder right now. And then inside the rest. So focus on these two. The first one is this one, and then the second one, which is the layout. So when you create Android application, come again.
Sorry, which one is the first one?
The first one is this one.
Focus on
this one.
All right. What about the second one?
Yeah, the first one, and then the second one is the layout.
Okay.
So focus on these two right now. So when you create Android application, we have two things. We use two programming languages to create Android application. The first one is XML. And this is how XML looks like. This is XML. And this XML part is used to create the UI interface for the application. It's created by this XML, and then we use the Kotlin to connect the XML to attach the UI to the mobile device and show the UI to the screen, or any other logic like clicking, showing data, and all those things. We use Kotlin to do that. So if you look at the top here, we have two files. The first one is activity underscore main.xml. So this is an XML file. The second one is main activity.kt. So kt means Kotlin file. That's the Kotlin extension. Like the way when you create Google Docs, it has dot something. When you create normal text, you have txt extension. When you create Kotlin file, you use dot .kt. When you create XML file, you use .xml. When you create HTML file, you use .html. So it's the same way here. So we have two files here, and the XML files are in the layout folder. Can you see my mouse pointer? The XML file are in the layout folder. That's why I told you to pay attention to this folder. So anytime you want to do a design for your application, you have to do the design here, and then if you want to connect it to the rest of the application, you do it over here. So we have two parts: the XML, which is used for creating the UI, the user interactions, the buttons, the text, the images. We use the XML to create it, and then we connect interface to the rest of the application using the Kotlin, and then pumping data as well through the Kotlin. Okay, so like I said before, for those who are late for the part, we are building a to-do list application, and we have two major screens. This will be the list of tasks, and then you click on a button, it will open this button for you to enter an item. So when you enter and you click on save, it will be added to this list. If you click on one item, you'll be taken to this detail screen, and from the detail you can also edit. Okay, so we'll begin by creating this list. You pick the UI one by one. When you come to application development, you have to think about the project, you have to think about the design, what you want to build, and try to design it on Figma or even pen and paper to get a mental model of what you are coming to build. You don't just jump into the code and start writing code. Code is the last thing, because code is expensive. It takes a lot of time and energy from you to do it. And when the person doesn't like it, it's caused to refactor or make changes to it. So you first design and be sure of what you are coming to do before you go ahead and then start coding. So as you can see, I've started here and I made my design, and I have my design here before I went ahead to start writing the code. I did not jump into the code first. If I had shown you the code first, you wouldn't have known that this is what we are coming to build. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
Yeah. If I started with the code, you wouldn't have known that this is what I'm coming to build. So first, you design a mental picture of what you are coming to build. It could be on Figma. You can use Figma. It's a design tool. It's free. You can pay for more extra features, but for now you can use it to design Figma. If it's too complicated for you, use pen and paper. This thing, you can draw it on pen and paper. It's just a design. You don't need colors. It's just a design. Later you can decide on the colors. So take the screen one by one. Whilst we are designing it, I'll explain some of the things to you, and then you will also be completing some of the tasks on your own. So be ready for assignment tonight. So let's start with this. We have a long screen over here.
Yeah, so you already use Figma or you use whatever did you use for the design?
Okay.
Or this is the actual application itself?
Yeah, this is actual application that I took a picture of. But this is like a small application for me. So I came up with a design quickly. But you can use Figma. Usually when I have a project and I don't have a designer, then I build this thing on my own.
Hello, did you get my question?
Customers. That's why I don't want to open up.
Okay.
So you use it to make a design. You can also use pen and paper just to get a feel of it. And we have other tools available. So you can Google it and see those design tools that you can possibly use.
And there's one more. You also talk about Jetpack Compose. What's that one? How can I use that one too for the design?
Jetpack is not for designing. Like the design I'm talking about is not for graphic design. It's for building the UI of your application. Like these things. This is actual application. It is not a graphic design. So the Compose is also used to create a design. So when you are writing Compose, you don't need XML. So you delete this folder. You delete this folder and write your design inside Kotlin, pure Kotlin, everything in Kotlin. Yeah. So Compose is not graphic designing tool. Now. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks.
I'm continuing. So I said we have the design tool, and then we have the Kotlin for connecting everything. We said we are starting with this list, and I said if you look at the list carefully, we have the long phone screen over here, but inside of that long screen we have an individual item. We have these individual items, as you can see, and the item is made up of tests, and these tests are arranged vertically. So it is this simple item that has repeated itself severally. Can you see that? And we have another design here which is purple, and then so that's it. We have the main screen screen, we have the main screen, which is this. Inside the main screen, we can see something else, which is the first one is this color box, and then the second one, you can see that this simple box is repeating itself to make all these other ones. So we just have to design one of these items, and then we will learn how to repeat it for the rest. And this here, no tag, is a placeholder, so this will become visible when there's no item. I just made it visible for now so that I can use it to explain for you. So let's go into this thing and then design the thing from this color box down to the bottom here. So the first thing is we are coming to design that item. So you come to this layout folder, you right click on it, and then you see new. Inside the new, you click on layout resource file. Layout resource file. So I told you that the rest over here, RES, stand for resource. So we are creating a resource file. So you click on it and then you give it a name. Since it's a to-do list application, I'll call it item. So to-do item, I mean this individual item. So I'll call it, and then you click on OK, and that file will be created for you. Added down here. Before we have activity underscore main. Now I've added another one called item underscore to do, and this thing has given me this screen. This is the design mode. The top here, we have some 3 icons here. This changes the design to code mode. So here you see only code. When you click on this button at the top here, you see only code. When you click here, it will split it, so you see parts of the code and then part of the design. So let me click on it. So you see part code, part design. So this is good when you are typing here, you want to see what you are typing, then you use this one. And then we have pure design. So this is pure design, and inside the design you can drag and drop to build this UI. So you can either type or you can drag and drop. So you ask me, where can I put the things? There are the widgets, and then this is so as you are building it, it will show you the tree of the views you are building. So these are the views, these are the common ones. If you want to display text, we have different form of text: email, password text, number text, and all those things. We have all the options here. When it comes to buttons, we have a lot of buttons here: radio button, checkbox, chips, a lot you can choose here. Other widgets, layout. So we have a lot here. You can explore them, click on them, and see what they do. I'll show you this. When it comes to Android development, we have something we call view. So everything you see, every widget or every design element you see on the screen in Android, we call it view. So this a view, this a view, this a view, this a view, and the whole item here is also a view. So view is the basic UI element in XML or Android application. View is a basic UI element. So if you look at our design, you see that they are arranged vertically. So that's the first thing we have. We have to arrange this thing vertically. You can start by first, this is the layout. This layout specify how the content or the members within it to be arranged. So we have different type of layout elements. The first one you are seeing here is called constraint layout, but I'm going to use a more simplified one called linear layout. So as you are typing, the IDE is intelligent, so it will suggest some of them to you. It's called linear layout. So this one, we use this view. It's also a view, but it's a layout view. We use it when you want to arrange items vertically or horizontally. So when you hover over it, you can see a documentation saying a layout that arranges other views either horizontally in a single column or vertically in a single row. So if you want to achieve something like this vertically, you will use a linear layout. Now I have my linear layout. Then I'll come to the palette. You can combine both the design and then this theme mode. So I can come next inside of it. So this is the starting element. It's like HTML. This is the starting element and this is the end element. This is the end. So this is the closing tag and then this is the open tag. So inside of it, make sure you can see some small greater than symbol here that marks the end of the starting tag. So inside of it, then you put your view. So this view here are tests. So we have 4 tests. So I can bring a test view. So if you want to display a test, you use a view called test view over here. So then you select that test. Inside this view, we have, so every view in Android has a property. And we have a required, that's a required property means you can't miss it. Without it, you have an error. And then we have optional ones. The optional ones, you usually use it to apply some beautification or something to your element. But we have some that are required. Every view requires those ones. And the first one is layout width and then the layout height. So you have to specify the height height, as in how tall the thing should be, and then how wide the thing should be. And then we have, when you choose these two, height and then the width, you have two options. You can specify that it will match the parent that it should be as big as its container. So since this is the root view, this is the topmost view, and then this is the phone size, it means it will expand to the entire phone size. This is what this match parent means. And then we are saying the height too should be match parent, so it will be as tall as the phone, as wide as the phone. But this test view, as you can see, this test view cannot be as wide from the start to the end. So what property is it using? It's using something we call wrap content. So you come inside those two quotation and then type wrap content. So as you are typing, you get a suggestion. You just click on tab on your keyboard and then it will be inserted. So I'm saying the width should be wrap content, and let me finish the rest and I'll tell you what that means. And I'm giving this for match parent. So the wrap content, what it does is that it will make the view as big as its content, or as small as the view, as big as its content, or small as its content. So it's relative to what is inside of it. So if what is inside is big, it will also become big. If it's small, it will be small. That's the meaning of the wrap content. So I'm saying the width. The width is this side. From left to right is the width. I'm saying on the left to right, it should be as small or as big as what is inside it. And then the height, I'm saying it should be as tall as this screen. But as you can see from here, the text is not tall from the top to down. So I'll give the height to wrap content so that it doesn't become tall as the screen. But I think the width, I'll make it match parent, okay, so that it can extend from here. As I've done that, you can see that there's some more blue line at the top. So now the blue line is moving from here to here. Can you see it? So you've set the compulsory. This view, we've applied all the compulsory property. The next one is we want to show a test. We are still not showing a test yet. So we have another property called test. You just have to type test, and then the IDE will suggest for you. You type tab to bring it, and then you specify the test you want to put there. So here, tax title. I hope you can see the text at the top there.
Yes.
So it's like we've started forming something.
Yes.
But if you can see, it is darker. Darker is like they've applied bold to it. If you are using a Word doc, you have that bold style you can apply to it. So in XML too, we have that. So it's called test style. So you look for a test style. These are shortcuts. When you type it, it suggests for you to see a test style. You can also type it fully, test style. Then it will pop up. Then you see the options. You have either bold, italic, or normal. Now it was normal. When I apply, I think it's big, small, but I think I have to apply test size. So TS again brings test size. So I'm changing the size to, let's say, 24. And then you use SP. When you are specifying the units for a test, we use SP. When you are specifying a unit for dimension, as in the height or the width, you use another unit called DP, like the way we have millimeters, centimeters, and all those things. When it comes to XML, we have one. I think in HTML and CSS, we have something like PX and all those stuff. In Android, when you are doing text, you specify the unit as SP. But when it's dimension, you use DP. So you see, as I apply the text size, I've increased the text size and then apply the boldness. It's looking something like this one. So I can copy, since we have 4 tests there, I can copy this thing and duplicate it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the Mac, when you copy the thing, you can click on Command D. So you can Google search it, the Command D in Android Studio. What is it in Windows? Windows. I've copied it and then duplicated it 3 times. And we're supposed to have 4 views, but we are still seeing 1. And then we have some red warning here. This is, the red means dangerous warning. It's dangerous, but the yellow means warning. The red is dangerous. The yellow means warning. You can still go ahead and run your application to run well. But the red means that you have to fix it now. And it's saying we are lacking something. When you hover over it, you say wrong orientation. No orientation specified. The default is horizontal, yet the layout has multiple children. So when you are using the linear layout, I told you that it's used to arrange things either vertically or horizontal. Since there are 2 options, when you are using it, you have to specify the option you are using. If you don't specify, the Android environment is confused whether to make it horizontal or vertical. So to specify the direction, you use a property called orientation. When you type orientation, the ID suggests it and you hit on tab, then we choose options. We have vertical and then horizontal, then you choose vertical. So as I chose vertical, our warning is gone, and then we also see 4 tests on the screen. I think the styling is not the same though, so let me remove the boldness for the second one, and I think I'll make it 14 SP. We have this zoom button here. You can click on the top to zoom it out, or here to minimize it. I think we have created art. So let's say 21st September 2024. And then for this one, it was called Connect. I think this one too was not big like that, and it wasn't bold. So I'm removing the unnecessary ones. And then the last one, which is a red, status pending. So it is status pending. It was not that big, but it was red. So if you want to specify a text color, we have property called text color. So you can type TC and then you have it. So you can specify the color like the way you do in your listing. You can use the hexadecimal color. And then as you have hexadecimal color, if you can see the edge here, there's some small square color there. Some thing pink. If you click on that thing, it will open a color picker that you can pick some red color. I think we've achieved what we saw here, right? So I'm continuing. So we are able to use the text view to show our text. Also selected a color. I've shown you how to apply color, how to set the text, actual text, and then decide whether be as big or tall. So let me change the height to wrap content for now. So you can see that the thing has moved the whole thing. This is the phone, but the whole content is now here. Initially, when I use match parent, it covered the whole thing. See, it covered the whole, but as I change it to wrap content, the thing moved up with just this part. So we are done with one item. So let's see how we can show the list, like these multiple items, how we can repeat this item. So to display a list in Android application, we have another view called RecyclerView. So this one, I'll use the design mode so that we learn the tool as we are going. So to use the design mode, you come here, and then we have the views that we are typing in code, like this one, what we are typing in code. You can also use the drag and drop. You click at the top here, the palette, to show your views. So you can also carry it and bring it in that order. So I'm closing it, and now I'm moving away from this item, and I'm coming back to the first one, which is activity underscore main. So over here, I'm coming to use the drag and drop so that you see the way the tool is. I won't say code is better than the drag and drop. They all have their uses. Sometimes you'll be trying to drag and drop and put the thing here. It is not going well. You have to go to the code to correct it. So we use the two hand in hand. You come here to switch to the design mode. We have the split mode. We have the code mode. So you can use the design mode. I think let me use the split mode so that you see what is happening on this side. So if you come to here, you select something we call RecyclerView. So it is used for displaying lists. So this is like a list. So to display that list, you come here, you hold it, and you put it over here. So you see, as I drag and put the thing here, the code was automatically built for me. So here, instead of the wrap and how is it called? Wrap and match content, this one specify actual value. So this one will say the thing should be as tall as 400 and as tall as 354, but as wide as this. But we want, if you see here, you see that the list extends to the edge from here to here. It starts from here, ends here, and also long like this to the end. So we have to do it match parent. So match parent. Okay, so I'm using too much of the code. Let me show you. So we have another thing here called properties. So the properties we are setting here one by one. We have another view here called properties. So let me close this one for now so that we can use the property. So as you can see, these are the properties for the RecyclerView. All the properties are here. You can modify them. We have all the properties here you can set. Instead of setting it manually here, you can set it here. So for now, we need match parent. So to do the match parent, you come here, you see You see, we have the layout width, which is showing match parent that we selected. And then here, I can also choose another match parent, okay, or you can type match parent. Okay, it will come. So now we've selected match period. These ones are unnecessary, so I'm removing them. So another property that you need for most of the view is called ID. So it's like the HTML. If you want to use JavaScript to access or modify an HTML tag, you need the ID so that you can be able to search for that element and then modify it. So you have to set ID for most of the views. So to set the ID, you can come here to the code and then type ID, and then the suggestion will come. But like I said, we'll use the code. So I'll come here. There's a property called ID. So I'll come here and specify the ID called to do. Okay, so to do items. So that's the ID I want to specify. So as you can see, as I hit enter now, the property was injected to the code. So whatever you are doing is being converted to code over here. So if you know the code, you can also type it. It is the same. Okay. So we saw this container called layout, linear layout, and this is another container. So the view that is at the top of the content is called the root view, and they are usually layouts in the sense that they are meant to arrange elements on the screen. They are not visible, but they arrange elements on the screen. Because you can see when I added this thing, we saw this item, but before I added it, there was nothing on the screen except this text, and you already know what it is. This is it. By this one, we are not seeing anything. They are not visible, but they help you to arrange your item top and down or those kind of things. So they provide information to the screen of how to lay out the content. Okay. So this is another layout. It is called constraint layout. And that one, it arranges your property, your views, the content relative to another. It arranges it relative to another. So as we've done this one, it has something called constraint. So constraints are rules how the content should be placed or arranged relative to another. So anytime you place an item or a view inside of it, you have to specify those constraints. Okay. So if you see for the test view, it has this constraint specify some layout constraint bottom, layout constraint bottom to bottom of. Then we have parent. So this one is saying is to align or arrange the top. Should connect the top to the top of parent, end to the end of parent. So this is the start, this is the end of your screen, and this is the start of your screen. So align it to the start, to the end, to the top, to the distance, to the bottom. So we need the same property for this one because it is filling the same the whole content. Let me give this test view an ID because we'll be using it when we don't have any item to show. Then we'll use it when we have empty list. We'll show this test. If we have a list, we'll show this list. So I'll give it an ID. I'll give it an ID called no item. So you can see then we have the ID here inserted automatically. So let me put a test here for no, I think no task here or no item here. So this one is also small, is small, so I can change the font size. So you can set the properties from the design mode. You can set the property for text size. So like I said, sometimes you'll be having issue with all these things. So if you know the code, you can also come here. I'm not saying the text size, so I'll use this one, text size, and then I can specify the size of, let's say, 30. Okay, so now it is bigger, and then I'll use the text style of bold. So the bold, you see that this one is looking exactly like that one. Let me use the tags so that we can see. So no tags here. I think we are looking close to this guy. I think he has a color. We'll do that one later. I think you know how to do it. So this will be your first assignment. Apply the color of this to this item. I'll share the code on GitHub. So you also make a clone of it, and then you change this color. So I'm coming to put a comment here. So to write a comment in XML, you use, okay, so you start with this less than and then exclamation sign, two, is it hyphen or something? Yeah, two hyphen. You use two hyphen and then the greater than to write your comments. So I'm putting to do here. I put to do here. Say assignment to change color. So that's your assignment. I'll track it. If you do this to do test, it's a special keyword. I can find it. So that one is not part of your job, but I'm just telling you that if you don't do the assignment, I'll know. So if I click on this to do and I come to XML, you see it is here, assignment to change color. It is here, so I'll find it. If you don't do that task, I'll know. So I said we have to apply constraint to this item. So to apply the constraint, I can copy this one and apply it here. So these are constraints. Now it is occupying the entire thing. So you see, so the constraints are these blue signals here. These blue dots here represent the constraint. So when they are active or when they are being set, when you set the constraint, it looks blue. But if you don't set it, for example, let me remove this one, the end. When you remove the end, so when it is set, it is blue. So I'll undo to bring it. So we've set a property to bring this the only thing missing is the round shape card. It is the card that we are missing. So let's see how we can bring this card on. So we have a card in Android called a card view. So we'll make that one the parent instead. Okay, so instead of the linear layout, we will wrap the card view around this one so that we can get that shape. To bring the card, you type like this, card view. Yeah, so you can see the card view over there. Then I'll just copy these compulsory properties to replace that one, and then I'll bring the closing tag. So I'll remove the closing tag and bring it to the bottom because I want the whole card around this one. So it's showing that red error because of the namespace. So I'll just copy this one. So this namespace is supposed to be at the topmost view. So if it's on it, then the error will be gone. So you copy that property and send it to the top view. Yeah. So that error is gone. So you can see that now our item is having some special listing effects. I hope you can see it. So since it's having that special effect, let's view it in the main layout and see how it's looking. It's loading now, but let me give it a space. So nothing changed because they are all stacked together. So it is not separated like this, guys. So I have to put some space between the top and the down. So to apply that space, I'll come to the item and then give it a margin. We have margin. As you can see, we have layout margin. So this layout margin applies the margin to the whole thing. So let me say 8 dp. So you see the 8 dp causes the whole thing, like the top, the down, and the bottom, the whole thing to be shifted away from the main container. This is the phone screen. As I applied the margin top, it gave space at the top and down, but I only want the space at the top for now. So you can change this margin to margin top. Okay, so he applies it to just the top. So let's see from the main. So you can see it's now looking like it, but it is too close to the container. So we can also set another property for this inside this. So this one we will use padding. We have another one. We have padding. So padding applies the thing inside, but the margin is outside. So you apply margin. Let me say 8. I think it's too much. The 16 is too much. So I'll give it 8 ADP. So you can see it's now looking like this one, but I think the cards are also too close to its container. So we can go, you see over here, the card is, the text is too close to the edges here. So we'll give it a space. So I told you that if you want inside space, you use padding. If you want outside space, you use margin. So we gave outside space top and we had this. So if you want the space inside, you use padding. So I'll give it a padding of 8. 8 dp, yeah. Padding 8 dp. Okay, okay, okay. So the padding is supposed to be on this guy, on the linear layout inside of it. Okay. Yeah. So now it is a little bit away from the edges. So if we see this list, so as you can see, it's looking very close to this one. There is left with the corner, the curved corners. So to achieve the curved corners, the card has a property called card corner radius. So it's called, you can type corner radius, or it's card corner radius, and then you set it to, let's say 8 dp. 8 dp. Let me do it 16. Okay, so you can see the small curves here. So let's go to the main list and see if it now looks like okay. Are we close or it is okay? Are we close or it is okay?
I think it's okay.
Yeah. So this is a card. Okay, so we are close to it, but it's okay. So I'll end it here. I don't want the class to be too long. If you have any questions, you can ask me. So, like I said, today we are able to design this screen. Yeah, so we are able to design the screen. The only thing missing here is this blue section. So it's just another view we will apply and then apply color to it. So I'll give you as an assignment. Whatever we are not able to finish here will become your assignment. Yeah. So your assignment is to how to apply this thing to the top of this view. It has a name. I want to know the name and then how you can apply it. That's your assignment. So I'll put another to do here. To do so. This is the first one. Oops. Any question? Any questions?
Well, I think it's okay. I understand it too.
Okay. Thanks you. Any question? I've come to the end of the class. Any question? Bright, any question? I know you came late, but
Yes, I have a question.
okay. Bright, hold on, sorry.
I think. Okay, can I go on?
Yes, please, Fence will go on.
Yeah, I can see they have two screens. One that has the list view, and that one that has the blue top. Am I wrong?
Yeah, so this is our design.
Yes,
This
yes.
is where we came from. This is our design.
Okay.
This is the design I show you. I showed you earlier that will be this how is it called? We'll be creating these two things. So it is just the same thing that I maximize the screen and it's showing like this. So this is the design we are following.
Oh, okay.
And this is the job we've done. This
Okay.
is it. Okay.
Okay. I'll watch the videos again because my network is logging me out, kind of. I can't see your screen.
Sure.
I'll watch it. I'll able to do the assignment you gave to us.
Okay. So, Bright.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Welcome.
Wa. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
I came late.
Yeah.
I know by hopefully for the next class I'll be able to come on time.
Okay. I used to tag you guys, but I don't want to do it anymore. I want to see those who are serious, wanted to learn. I don't want to force anybody. So I won't tag anybody apart from straight information. I'm not coming to tag anybody. I want to know those who are into it. Yeah. So, Mr. Femi.
Yes, I'm with you, my Willie.
Yeah,
Good
please.
evening.
Good evening, sir. Please, any question?
No, thank you for your time. It's clear.
Okay. So everybody, this is senior student. So he's been with me for a while before I began this. So if you are having any difficulty, you can reach out to him as well. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Okay. So I'll share the code on Git. Okay, yeah. I'll share the code on GitHub so that you can get it from there. I'll add the link on the video, under the video. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Have a wonderful night.
Same.